All right, guys, we're back for a short video about why you suck at approaching women. So, I want to talk a little bit about this. This is not going to be a technical argument. It's not going to be a technical video where my cat's behind me right now trying to get in the door. This is not going to be a technical video about the do's and don'ts of cold approach, about what you're doing wrong at this stage, what you need to do at this stage, we're not talking about that right now because we'd have to go and diagnose specifically what you would be doing wrong with your own, go through various sets, various things that you've been trying to do. Um, what I want to talk about here is something a little bit deeper, which is your mindset. Why you suck at approaching women. I have a client just inspired this whole thing. I've had a couple clients like this throughout my time coaching, and they want to go out there, they want to meet women, they want to attract women, and they want to get better at cold approach. But the issue is that they are completely unwilling to put themselves out there. I don't mean that they don't go and do approaches, but when they do the approach, there's still this timidness about, well, what's she going to do? How is she going to respond? Am I going to get blown out? Am I going to get rejected? How do I not get rejected? How do I not get blown out? And the reality is, if you want to get better at talking to women, approaching women, especially women in cold situations, you are going to have to accept the fact that not only are you possibly going to get blown out, but you're likely going to get blown out. And that the point here is not to avoid getting blown out. And this is like a mindset shift that I think is really difficult because guys obviously want to get better at cold approach. And so they think, well, of course, you don't want to get blown out. But that's a step down the line on this early stage, at this early stage. And by the way, Tony in the chat, salute to you too, my man. It's good to see you. At this early stage, you want to be getting blown out. You want to desensitize yourself to rejection. And so if you're going into approaching and you're trying to avoid it, see how you can not have it happen, you're going about it the wrong way. At this juncture, you should be trying to get rejected. Stay in the set until you get rejected, until she leaves, until she walks away. That way, when you go into it, you're not of this mindset that you're going to lose if things don't go well. The point is not for them to go right. The point is just for you to get out of your head and to get there in the moment and have to deal with the tension and deal with the consequences of the tension, deal with the woman leaving. If you're unwilling to do this, you are just never going to get better with women. Simple fact, you will never get better with women if you cannot look at approaching them and being rejected by them as no big deal, as part of the game. I'm not saying that you have to love it, although it's better if you can start to enjoy it. And by the way, those of you watching, hit that like button, boost the algo, hit that like button, smash that like button. But seriously, do not even bother trying to approach women if you are going to let their rejection control, your day. If you're going to make the entire purpose of this not getting rejected. Once you get used to being rejected, then you can start to figure out how you can not get rejected, how you can move things forward. But get the first things first. Because otherwise the entire time you're coming into the chat with, you're coming into the chat with a girl with an agenda. Whereas when you actually get used to being rejected and when you accept the rejection, when you accept it, then what happens is that you can start to be yourself. Because now it's like, well, I'll just go talk to this girl and I'm going to amuse myself. I'm going to talk about all sorts of random stuff because why not? Why do I have to I'm not trying to attract her. I'm just going to talk nonsense. And what you find is actually when you start going and talking nonsense, that very often the girl will stick around longer because at that point she's not feeling the pressure on her and you're acting more authentic or you're having fun, right? You start to do all the things you're supposed to do. So you got to control for that first variable. If you don't control for it, you're not going to get good at approaching women. You're not going to get good at talking to them because you're always going to bring your own psychological pressure onto the interaction and you're going to cause her to pull back out of it to feel your anxiety and it's not going to make her feel good. I'm not saying you're not going to get lucky sometimes, but by and large, you're not going to do well with your approaching and you are going to have a very hard time dealing with girls leaving you and you're going to go up when a girl does well with you and then you're going to crash down and you're going to have this constant roller coaster, which is a very common thing that guys get in the game world. Big mistake. All right. That's it for this video. Again, hit the like button, drop a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you have not, if you like the content. And of course, if you want more practical game tips, the link to my masterclass, 18 hours of it, is below. See you next time.